Hello. Yep. 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 Mm, yeah. Mm. Sound it is okay. Nice. 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 All right. So shading it smooth. What happens here? We need. We need. We need. We need. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Activity now. Prepare a top dot. So I go. If you search for Python API Blender Ops. Wait, wait. Calling operators this into Python. Hmm? All right. So, hey guys, this is Precious Bunny, and today we are doing Blender again. And basically, what the challenge is today is that we have to recreate this image inside Blender, but we cannot use like directly the like UI. We have to use it through Python. So everything we do is going to be done through Python. But before I do that, since I'm also new to Python and all that stuff, I have to go and I have to learn that stuff. So that's what my first project is. So in the upcoming scenes, we might be having some kind of automation and all that stuff coming up. But now it is this only. So let's just begin. So basically, I know it's been a while. I have started to stream, but I haven't talked much. Now I'm starting to talk much, and basically, this is the Python console. Sorry, this is the Python console inside Blender, which you can use in order to make it like to make and test some of your, you can say, Python operations. This is the main console through which like whole like Python is like whole things are going in. Like you are running the Python, you are running the Blender through this Python console. So this is the main console. You can just go and like write all the stuff here, but like you cannot enter directly like stuff. Like you can see I am typing, but it's not typing because like this is the stuff. This is the console which only you can say shows the output of the stuff. Output of like when you have to print stuff. So this console doesn't have the power to print, but like this console does has the power to print stuff. So this is the command line version of Blender, you can say. So in order to use, you can say basic functions of Python, there are a lot of, there is an entire Blender, you can say Python manual. So this is the Blender Python API module. It's separate from the Blender normal manual. So what do you need to know about like before starting up into the Blender Python is that you need to do two things. So there are only two settings. You can go here and like read all the stuff, or else you can just see it in the next 30 seconds. Basically you need to go into edit, preferences, and then you have to go into input, navigation, maybe key map, maybe navigation. I don't remember where the settings are, but like in total you have to like enable whatever. I will show you this. You have to enable the developer extra Python tool, developer extra tools, and the Python tooltips. And the way you can do that is basically you can just go here and like see the setting where are those available, and yep. Okay, this is kind of glitchy. I don't know why. Oh wait, what? This is the actual image. Wow, this is a actual image. This doesn't make any sense. Damn, this doesn't make any sense. Wow. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, on the stream also it looks like this. Thinking that my stream is lagging, but no, it's the image itself. So yeah, you can go and you can search for, let's search for developer extras, and it like you can just go and enable those developer extras, and which enables you to have a Python tooltips coming up. I will show you how those work, and I will also show you how to enable them. Basically go tower. Awesome. So I am out, like this is my very first stream inside Bangalore. So I am in Bangalore now. Haha. It's something. But you can go viewport. Maybe in viewport you might be having those settings. In themes you might be going and having, yes, and you have it here itself. You have it in the tooltips. You have just enable the Python tooltips. So whenever you go, you check, you see there is a Python, you can say preference view dot show dot Python tooltips. This is all coming in. So basically this is the path through which you can enable that particular setting using the Python console. That's what it logs when you do anything inside Blender. So these are lights, you can install lights also, and then there is editing, there are add-ons, there is animation settings, there are input settings, and navigation is also there. So that's what we have to do. All right, so the first thing first, in order to select this image, in order to select this, you can say 3D model, what you have to do is you have to go, you have to type bpy dot context, and then press tab, and then press tab. You can see these are the number of objects which appear, and in order to select one of these are options which can go. You just have to keep typing forward objects, and then it shows you multiple, you can say more options which can be selected. So you can just go and select this object. So what we are going to do, we are going to go select this object by not context, because context requires you to select that object particularly, and it only applies to the object which is set for perfect, like which is selected into, which is actively selected, and it requires Blender to be working. But we will be using some another API which is blender.data, and what this basically does is this gives you all the data and the behind scene node graph. You can see like this kind of node graph, you can access that through the Blender, and this is the data API. I'll show you. Basically this contains number of images you have into the scene. Even the render results also have, you can say, image like gelled inside, have a image location inside the Blender or Blender scene graph. And then you have objects. Objects are now just the objects which are there inside the scenes. There are scenes which contain the objects. So the scenes are, like, you can say, the if we compare it in terms of the Premiere Pro, it's going to be the sequences. And there's version is like just something. This is the version of the Python, the Blender Python module which you are working on. And then there are meshes, number of meshes you can see here. You can change the name of those. You can even see what, oh my god, each of the vertices location is here, each of the vertices mesh data is here. But like, why are these, like, how are these identified? Okay, let's say go here, let's go and do this. So just increase the size of this. Let's try changing it. You can see that particular vertex is like coming up. Basically you can change the vertexes. Like if you want to go and select the vertex, you can just go here and like go into meshes and then go into vertices. So these are the number of items which it contains. Then there is edges. If you want to control the edges, there are loops. What basically loops mean is basically this is called a loop of, you can say, a object. And these are all, you can say, the permutations and combinations of the particular loops which can happen in the particular in a order when you are selecting the, like, a group of vertices. Then there are polygons. Polygons are nothing but the faces. And then you have loop triangles. I don't know about that, but like I will research on it, so I will write it down. What are loop triangles? And I will tell you that in the next image. Triangles. Okay. Let's move forward. Texture mesh, UV loop. The UV loop layers are like the layers which you get, UV layers which you can use in order to like loop onto the objects, and you can select those inside Blender. That's what you can do with the loop layer. And you have a loop UV map itself, which you can change, which has a separate name, which has an active camera and all that stuff. So you can just select that, and these are the loops. You can go and you can select each of the loop also. So when we say about the loops, that's what, like, your topology matters. That's why your topology matters, because otherwise, like, if you are not able to select a loop, then it's going to slow the process down. It's not going to allow the renderer to essentially to run the smooth a smooth functionality on it. किसका चैनल पे जाना प्लीज में सर्च कर. That's what it is. And going forward, so we have all these content inside it. We have line styles. Line styles are a new thing which I added like in the version 3.0. So I have no knowledge about that. I will write those down also, and I will see when can I, you can say, tell you about those, because like those are really cool additions to the Blender. And so yeah, this is what the scene graph looks like of the Blender. Now we are going to access that by using Python. So these are all the data. This is the Blender data file, which you can say it saved whenever you hit save on the Blender, and it's refreshed whenever you do any of the changes in the scene. So for example, if I go into edit mode, if I just select this mesh and if I just change it, so you can see here that that's logged, and basically I toggled into the edit mode, that's logged here, and then there is a translation which happened for like this well, you can say on this matrix. So that's what happened here, and in order to match it, or to see 0.00, this is what happened. So I'm going to do it. What we will do, we will just going to go, we're going to experiment what it does. You can see it changes the location of the vertex to this location. Now let's change it by 1 point, let's say 2, then press enter. Let's see what happens. So this takes that vertex and it pushes to that second, you can say, unit of the world at the world scale. So this is the 1 unit. This is 1 unit and this is 2 unit. So that's what you can do for so C0 and vertex 0. What we can do, we can change this. You can see now it's very hard to like get, you can say, the perfect number for each of the vertex. So the way we do it is we do it inside Blender. Like we have to select that vertex, we have to try moving it. It gives us the, you can say, module for like what ran over it, what happened there, and then like you can just copy paste that inside here. So that's the fastest way to do it. Otherwise, or else you have to manually go and like go through a scene graph, test it out. Like here you have to go inside meshes, and then you have to go inside vertex and you have to try manually finding which of the vertex that is. So that's why like this makes it super fast. All right. What we will do, we are going to create a new mesh. So basically, let's see what operations go on when we are creating a new mesh itself. So I'm gonna switch to the view layer, and we are gonna see the layer itself. So see, there's collection, there is scene collection, then there's collection. So this is the layer which is being currently shown, and make some spaces. Now in order to like have, you can say, a creation to happen, let's search in the my Python module how can we do that. There is bmesh. Bmesh is another Blender API, but these are all standalone APIs. So like you can take this in your Python console, and you can just use those directly without even bothering to open Blender. So like this is the power of Blender itself. And let's see what else do we can like. And these are the application modules. What the application modules basically mean is like these modules can only run when you are running Blender, and these can only be run inside this console. This Blender console. That's what I told you earlier, that how we can do it. So basically our aim for this stream would be to like at least get all of the objects imported into the scene, like for the creation of it. Like this is the UV UV sphere, this is a this is the icosphere, the UV sphere, and then I don't know how we will be able to create that, but eventually it would be fun. This object we can create, Only thing is which we have to do is like we have to take a cube, we have to rotate it, and then we have to stretch it across like this z-axis, and then we have to duplicate for this, and before duplicating we have to do it for this. So that's what it goes when you're making, you can say, this kind of stuff in Blender. But now the main reason for doing the stream is to learn the Python API, right? So let's just go inside the Python modules, and you're gonna search how to add. From bpr.ops.mesh.primitive. Okay, so we can use blender ops.mesh. So let's explore the ops, you can say, module. Operators don't have written values as you may expect. Instead of written a set which is made up of running modal, cancelled, finished, pass through, and common results value are finished and cancel. Okay, calling operators in the wrong context will raise a runtime error. There is a whole method to avoid the problem. Now, this poll method, if you don't know about it, it's basically used to check whether the object is executed or it's not executed. What do I mean by that? It's basically whenever you have, you can say, two things selected, and you want to ensure that none of it is selected, and you want this one of them to be selected at once. So how do you do that? Basically, you run a poll and you check that what is actually happening and what is not actually happening. So you run that, and then you can say you select one of the objects, like after you have run the poll, like you get the operations, and that's why the poll method is important. I've used it, so that's why I remember how it works. There are three optional positional arguments, and yeah, so basically this is the override context, and then there is execution context, and then there is undo, like what should happen, like if you want to like have a operator coming in. So what are the things which should happen if like, since you have seen like the written values are three, like either it's finished, either it's cancelled, or either it's a pass through. So pass through is like the things things are going like these are in progress. The finished ones mean like the things has already finished, and whatever operation you were running, it's already finished. And cancelled is stuff like when, you can say, the poll command, or when like there are some errors, and like the operation is not actually executed. So, and you can use polls are like really important methods to run before you, like, you can say, debug the like the operation, like why it was cancelled. So let's go and let's see what Python operator modules are. And these are the sub modules. These are brush operators. Let's see what brush operators do we have. Add brush by mode. So brush dot add, brush dot g pencil. G pencil means graph, like grease pencil. And recently Maya also renamed its blue pencil to grease pencil. So that's a win for Blender guys. Oh, Maya. Uh, import. Let's now see what we do need. Like, we need a operator which can, you can say, add objects, right? So armature operators is where it would be like, okay, there are armature operators which you can see are used to, which you can run on a particular armature. Armature delete, armature add, dissolve, armature duplicate, or duplicate move, extrude. Extrude means like, let me show you what it means. So basically, API dot ops, and then we go to our name here. Then you can see we have a extrude port the four. Let's run it in order to like show you, otherwise like it wouldn't work. Alright, so underscore focus not defined. Let's see what's the issue. We will create a new one from selected joins. So basically what it should mean is we can add this, we select this, and then when you extrude, when you select this, then you extrude armature extrude is equal to 4. That's false. And then there is a transition going around orbit axis and all that stuff, like which orientation matrix it is on, like it's on world 100 comma 0100. So I have to learn about this orientation matrix. So orientation matrix, right. All right. All right. Yep. Now, like these kind of stuff, so we explore this, and now let's go and let's try to import some objects inside. So the basic operation for that you've already seen. It's mesh.primitive_mesh underscore add. So because these are the primitive objects which we are going to import. So bpy ops, and then you can see all of these objects are there. So like these are, you can say, sub modules inside that main module of Blender ops, and we can use to we have rigid bodies, we have all of that stuff, like whatever operations you can run. So let's check for, you can say, primitive objects. There is no module named primitive object, so we are scammed. Okay, it's mesh, sorry, the mesh module inside primitive. There you go. We have primitive, whatever we want to add. We can add a primitive gear, we can add a primitive grid, we can add a primitive monkey underscore add, which is Susan, and we have underscore star underscore add. I haven't known like we can actually go and like import these, and this is all because like I have enabled, you can say, one add-on which is called as the extra objects. That's why like I am able to see all these objects, because like these are like actually hidden, because like these aren't like used by a lot of users, so that's why like a lot of them are hidden. But in order to enable them, you have to go inside add-ons and you have to enable extra objects there. Primitive, what we want is beyond sphere. So, beyond primitive UV sphere or what? Yeah, so it's a UV underscore sphere underscore add, and then we can like have some properties for it, we can have some arguments for it. So there it is. It shows like this is what the operations it would like require to run. So let's just copy that and paste it. Boom. And it shows that we have added a sphere, but I am not able to see that sphere. Because if we are allowed to add, so planner activate true radius here, and these are all the settings which we did. Let's try importing directly a sphere. What's the issue with this? Why is it not adding a sphere? And as I told you, like if the module is finished running, so we get a finished return after that. Otherwise, like it would have like shown cancelled. Yeah, I was telling you guys that let's add a basic mesh, and if we go into mesh, and then we add a UV sphere. Now, what is different there from this, and what is so ops.mesh.uv sphere radius is equal to 1, radius is equal to false, so iron world is equal to this. This is what we have also done. Scale is 0, 0, 0. Wait a minute, that's the problem. Video of it. So when we are required, as you can say, so we can go pty dot ops dot mesh dot primitive uv sphere dot add, and then we copy this up a command. If I just run this, like, closing bracket is mandatory, so it has added a sphere. Already done. Let's just remove all of them, and let's run it again. Boom, it adds a sphere. And if you want to regulate what things we are gonna add it, we can just go leave it around this. Basically, what it is gonna do is, basically, since you are not like running an operation or running a function, it basically returns what are the values which are required to run that function, and this is all printed into this, you can say, Blender inside console, not the main console. Let's check on the main console also, so you can see nothing else, like nothing is required to be printed here, so it is printing nothing here. All right, so moving forward, we have our sphere. What do we do next? We can add multiple or more spheres, and that would not do it. Basically, what we want is, we want this to be duplicated, not you can say with the linked copy. You have to duplicate this with a linked copy. Otherwise, like if we just like use this, and if we just add a new, you can say, sphere, it would like increase our task of, you can say, aligning the materials and like assigning materials to each of the objects. Rather than, we can just like we can just take this, we can just have all the material property, all the material and all the object data to be the same. Only thing which we are going to do is, we are going to create an instance of it, and we are going to scale it down so that it looks different. Let's do that. And how do we do that? So basically, I guess it would be some other kind of operation. So let's just go. We have our Blender Stack Exchange. So duplicate option. Python. But I want to duplicating a mesh. Foreign duplicate underscore link. Okay, there is another operation. So bpy.ops is something, I guess, which we have to do whenever we are like having a mouse click. I guess that would be some analogy. But like if it's data, then what happens there? For whatever is required in order to be renamed or like selected, in order to access, you can say, some specified areas of Blender, we have to use blend bpy.data module, or otherwise, like if we have to run a operation, then it's going to be bpy.ops module. That is a cool analogy. Let's move forward, so that like but it's still not a funda, like not yet. If we run more operations like this, then it could be one funda, like to remember stuff. So it's again operation, and it's a mesh operation, or it's duplicate. Nope, duplicate is not mesh. Duplicate, and then if you just do this, so mode is equal to 1. What does mode is equal to 1 mean? Let's just see. Mode equal to 1. Let's run it. It has given us some error. What is this error? Is incorrect. So hard luck. And then we can just run this. It is saying no. Duplicate selected vertices, edges, or faces. Wait a second. Let's just see it on the second page. What does this mean? Okay. Well, it runs it on a the data is a module which you can say is required to objects are duplicate. Ling is equal to false. Oh, ling is equal to true. That's what we want, right? All right. So let's try running this. Oh. Not mesh, and then we have duplicate, and then we have, you can say, linked is equal to true. This will work. Oh, why it is not working? भैया वो हमारा भैया किधर गया? एक भैया आया था छोटा वाला। हाँ मैं से लंबा थोड़ा था। हाँ 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 किधर गया वो? ऊपर गया? ऊपर गया वो? ऊपर गया है क्या? ऊपर गया। सही बोलूं तो पता नहीं। Please do the honors. असली मजा तब आएगा। अरे कल लॉन्च है। ये फाइल ही नहीं डाउनलोड हो रही है। लिंक duplicate.pol. Yeah, you can see runtime error operator .pol. That's what I was telling you about pol. Pol is a really important method. Boom. Still gives us error. Still gives us error. Why? Why do this bully me? Let's search more about it. Prepare a context.activeObject.copy. Creating a copy of the object using copy method, using an operator. Just call it duplicate operator. And it doesn't work. We have tested it. Let's just try copy pasting it. Maybe it's a typing error which is happening. So It was a typing error, and now we have it. So now we want to move it. So I guess bpy.ops would have something for us, and that would be unlinked data, link, yeah, link it, link the data, link to collection, link collection index, new post, new collection name, link object to a collection. We don't want to link object to collection, we want to link object to another object, like object data to another object. Let's just see. The faster way to do this is just go run it and then like learn it out, but that's very lazy approach. This is what we want to learn, so yeah. And then, okay, wait a second, add a copy of the object to collection. We will see in our scene, using copy method we can get an instance of object. So get an instance of the object. To make a full copy, you need to have a copy method for the object data and for the object animation data. Okay. So this is interesting, because now not only we have to, you can say, duplicate the, you can say, mesh data out of it. Like we just not only want the mesh data out of it, we also want the animation data and the material data to also to be linked. The interesting thing. That's why, like, whenever we copy, it doesn't, like, you can say, whenever I copy, it doesn't, you can say, have the same, you can say, features. So we can say linked, and if we say linked, then it is gonna go and like have all the animation data and all the data like which this object has to be linked with this one. And that's an interesting finding. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we have imported our first object. We have also figured out a way to duplicate that. Now let's figure out a way to scale these to these heights. I guess it's around 0.25 or 0.25 of this. So whatever the scale of this is, we have to bring the scale down to 0.25. So bpy.objects dot what? We have to run the copy command, right? We have to run the duplicate. So we just go duplicate, and then we just say let's go move. Let's see what it does. So it does nothing. So yeah, we have to make it linked is equal to 2, and then we have to press enter. We have the instance of it. The object name is like different, but you can say this mesh name is the same, and that's what we wanted. Now I hope the material are also the same. Let's try it out. Let's add in the new material. So the way we do that is first we go here and then we search for the material operators inside the blender operators. Material.copy, material.new, material.paste. So these are three commands. These are three operations which we can run on a particular object for the material in the point of material. And the rest of the things are like the node modules. I guess those come inside the node operators. All right. Dot add underscore link node dot add collection. So we have to do all of this stuff. So this is going to be used. This is going to be huge. Damn. So with ops only, like, we can do a lot of stuff. And ops is a really good module, you can say, which is inside the blender application modules. I don't know what is this context module does. I'm like still not sure, but data is basically like it gives the data about whatever the object you want. If you want to go like in a specific niche, or like if you want to go in and select something specific, or you want to run an operation on something specific, so for that you have to use blender.data, because that you can say gives the data of the object which you want to run like the operation on. All right, so for the material, we have the material model. So let's just like quickly go. We just have to bpy.ops.material, and then we have, you can say, the three, you can say, uh, functions which we can run, or the methods which we can run on it. So we need a new material. So new, boom, it's finished. We have a new material. Let's go check it first. I don't know, I don't believe it. We don't have a new material. How is this possible? Because when we run here, you can see object material.new is run. That's what we ran earlier also, but it didn't work. Why did it didn't work? Let's delete this, and then if you just go here, now if you run it, oh wait, there was some error. Okay, it ran, but but there is no material. So let's just quickly check into the scene graph data API, and then we just go into materials. Where are the materials? Yeah, there are the materials. So you can see the material is created, but it's not assigned to the object, and that's why we aren't able to see. You can see we have created, you can say, all these materials. We can go delete those from here, I guess. Yeah, I guess we can delete these, but let's just see how we can say I'll assign it also. So we have new, we have copy. What's copy? So how do we assign a new material to this particular sphere? That's what I want to know. And let's just do that, because like I guess this is a data thing. So I guess like we have to use data for it. Material assigned material cylinder your assign a material function or string dot get id, that's what we want, and then matter so data. Yeah, so as yeah, boom, we got the new, and this is the material id. So that's how we do it. It's a data thing, we have to use data. If it's an operation thing, we have to use operation. I don't know why time is going so fast. It's already 5 p.m, almost 5 p.m, so I guess we have to stop the stream maybe. What's the time? How much time is it? Okay, it's 48. It's 48 minutes. So yes, what we have to do, we have to stop streaming, and then I guess like, since I have some freelance work also, not freelance exactly, I can say some personal projects, I treat them as freelance first, like otherwise I'm so lazy I will not work on them. So I'll just finish those and I'll see you guys in the next stream. But before that, as I promised, we are going to import all the objects, right? So let's just do that quickly. Material part is something which we can test in the another one, but yeah, we have to do that. Basically, let's see what it does. What yeah, so it creates a material, but how does it like assign it a id? So it's object dot active objects underscore index. So this is what you would see like inside Python, but like in order to access this data, what you have to do is bpy.data.objects underscore this what like object name dot active material index. This is the active material index. Let's see about the rest other material indexes. This is the active material index, and what about this? All right. Right. So each of the material indexes, like since this is Python, this is like list, so it starts from 0. So this is like the 0 index, this one index, and then like 1 2 3 4 and yeah, and forward. So you can see it all here also. like bpr or context dot object dot active material index is equal to this. So in order to assign a new material, what I guess we should do is we should run c dot object dot active underscore material underscore index. I just see what it returns. It returns as 1. All right, that's okay. That's okay. It's equal to 1, or like we will just like equal it to bpy data dot bpy data dot material, and then we have all these materials. So we go for material dot 004, and then we have this. Boom, we have this, and then we equal it to bpy dot context dot whatever that was, bpy dot context text dot object dot active underscore material index. Okay, this is the error. What's the error? Structure none, not an integer. All right, makes sense. It makes sense. Like, anyways, we aren't like, you can say selecting the, you can say index. That's what now our main goal is. Our main goal is to like change this. You can see the materials are already present and not assigned to the particular object, though it contains the material data, but it's not assigned to it. So that's what we have to figure out, like the material index and how we can assign the material. So for that, let's just again go to Google Theory, and you can say the blender data dot objects underscore cube. Object copy, it will set object copy true underscore animation true. This is copy one, we have already done it, so we can use a copy module also, not use it, but like we aren't using it obviously. All right. Let us set up the material input type of the shader, and then diffuse emission and the RGB colors. So we're gonna explore materials in the next part, but like this part of the screen is going to like first import all the objects, right? So we already duplicated the sphere successfully with linking of the objects, so that's done. Only thing now which remains is before we go there, we have to select the view layer of options in order to see these two cubes. We can rename these. Let's just try renaming these. So it's going to be a data thing, but like I don't want to waste the time there. I just want to import the first materials, and like this, let's just move this and scale it. So objects, wait, what I can do is I can just like quickly run it. We have this, we go here, we see transformed on translate values equal to -0 -0 and then orbit axis ortho is equal to x, like its orientation axis is only x, so that's why you can see the changes are not made to any other axis, and orient matrix is 10010. What is this orient matrix? I have listed it down, so I will study that. Orient matrix type underscore global, so it's a global matrix, and there is another local matrix too, which basically contains the data relative to the object origin, whereas the global orientation matrix, it basically calculates the, you can say whatever it calculates from the world origin, which is 000. So you have to study about that. But yeah, what we can do, we can just go here, we can just press Control C, and then we go and we press cpy dot dot transform dot translate it, and then finish. Boom. So it's moved to two units. Whereas if I run it again, let's say just for fun, if I just run it again, it moves it from that position more 2 units. That's not what I want. I want it to be 2 units back. And let's just go. If we just use this dpy dot ops dot, you can say, let's say we have scale on it or what, transform, oh sorry, transform, and obviously scale, no, resizing of the stuff. So resize it to what? So basically value here would be value is equal to 1 comma 1 comma 1 or 0 0 0 or like 0.5 0.5. If we go, you can see the object is already being done that. Let's go, and then translate it in increments. Let's translate it in increments. Come on. At least we are gonna move it 1 unit. So 1 unit. Okay, so it requires a vector. That's something. Oh wait, why? What? Why this doesn't work now? Come on, not 0. Okay, wait. Error. What's the error? It's not right. It is finished. It says moved. It has moved successfully, but I want it to be moving in the -1 direction. And I go and I run it again. Hit it again. डाल दिया ना? हाँ, उसके लिए बंद नहीं करना पड़ता, उसको सिरे से खोलना पड़ता है, लाइक नहीं, टाइम इसका है ही नहीं, चालू रहने देना पड़ेगा। उसको खोल के देखना पड़ेगा सूख गया क्या। पूरे कपड़े आ गए ना मेरे भी सुनो भी बात है। अच्छी बात हाँ ऑसम कोई मटेरियल बाद में देखेंगे एक चीज को हम फिनिश कर लेते हैं हाँ बड़ा तो ये कम करूँ 20 नहीं बंद क्यों गया मैंने टेम्परेचर पड़ा है इसको लगाऊंगा नहीं भाई इतना भाई इसको लगाओ भाई इतना तो ठंडा है ही बाय okay 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 so we have all these objects now the thing which we have to do is we have to have another icosphere and then we have to assign the material same material to it so let's add a oh, wow this is going to be crazy like how we can translate it to a certain location we have to write a module for that basically if you use bpy.ops.transform.translate then what we have to do is we have to run a for loop which is going to go until and unless it reaches to that particular location or else we can find some module in which we can directly go and have that particular object to a particular location in the origin in the world origin matrix but before that let's just focus on what we want to do so bpr.opt uh, primitive or wait we have to add a mesh so mesh primitive and then underscore and then what we have to view icosphere let's see it has icosphere yeah it has icosphere we press enter we have an icosphere we have to scale it so we can just go we are gonna go actually basically there is a slight correction like we don't scale the object we resize them that's what Blender understands we should always call it as that we are resizing the object not scaling the object because scale is different concept different stuff transform and then resize and then in resize we enter the value to which we have to resize it so this is not absolutely something which we would love to do but like this unlocks a lot of features and 111 now we want it to be 0.5 it's not even 0.5 it's 0.25 so we're just gonna go 0.25 and in console control C control V doesn't work so that's why I'm writing the all okay again boom so you can see it's 0.5 I guess we should upscale it now because now wait how would we upscale it so basically for upscaling it we have to multiply it by like 1.1 1.2 1.3 so if it's over 1 then it's going to multiply it in the positive direction if it is less than 1 then it's going to go and decrease the scale of it that makes sense so now what we have to do is we have to scale it by 1 scale it to 1 let's see what happens there's nothing because like at that position it's 1 and now what we want is we want it to be like 2 so it should become at the value of 0.5 sometimes some miscalculations here oh wow why is it cancelled 4 5 2 2 2 why that doesn't work okay wait a minute it's cancelled because like we haven't run the poll and the poll is because we don't have a active object into the scene so I guess then we have to you can say import the re-add the yes. Boom. So add the icosphere of radius 0.5. That's what we wanted. Now we just have to move it. So we will go bpy dot transform dot uh, vertex random. What is that? Let's troposphere. We have so many options. These are just amazing. I didn't knew, like, I have used a lot of these, but I haven't used like all of these. So it would be really fun to like explore all of these features. But like that automatically makes anybody's workflow faster. Awesome. We have that. Now what we have to do is we have to run a translate option on it, because since we are translating. Yeah. Value will be, which we have to pass. These are just the arguments which we are passing. So stating the obvious value, and what will be the value? It's going to be in the x direction 1, so we have to press 1 for it, and then it's going to be -1, -y, so -y, and then we have z is 0, or yeah, z is 0, or z can also be -1. It is at the perfect location which we wanted, exactly like where we wanted it to be. And now what else do we need to add? We need to add one cube, because like that's what we are requiring. If we see carefully into the scene, we need only one cube, which we are going to scale. I don't know how we will assign these kind of materials, or how we will create this kind of gradient. That will be a fun challenge to have, and how we will like split this this UV sphere into this kind of stuff. I have no fucking idea, but let's see how it goes. And yeah, so let's add the last object into the scene, and that is our trusty and handy default cube, which is always hi.